Hi everyone, this is Samiya and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is another video answering all of your questions. Actually, I could not cover all of the questions in one video, so I decided to make part 2 in which I will be covering rest of the questions. So without further delay, let's quickly get into the questions. So the first question is, how much time it took you to learn English? I guess I have already made a video on this topic, that how much time it took me to become fluent or to be able to speak in English. But that was my case because I have began completely from scratch when I was not even able to understand. So if you are someone who can understand English, who can easily read in English and write in English, then it will take you at least 6 months to be able to speak in English in the way you want. Another one is trouble while having conversation with opposite gender, how you overcame it. I can totally relate this question to myself because I myself have struggled with this problem for a very long time. Because I myself have done my entire academic education in girls' school till 12th. So obviously there was no interaction with opposite gender and I had never even felt the necessity of it. And the most important thing is that I have grown up in an environment, in a place where talking to your opposite gender is obviously not a good thing. So when I was young, I was not supposed to do it because it was not considered normal. But when I decided to learn English, I had to speak to others, I had to practice with others. So I decided to use applications which were available online. I thought this would be the great opportunity for me to speak. But problem occurs when I got to know that I will have to speak to opposite gender because most of the co-learners were male. Like you will have to speak to them. I still remember my first conversation. I was literally shivering that how am I supposed to talk to a guy, because before that I had never ever spoken to a guy. I did it when I was a kid, like when I was very small. But I guess once you grow up, everything changes. And I was feeling that how am I supposed to talk to a guy, because I had never done that. Nobody had ever taught me. But somehow I managed to speak. When I first spoke to a guy, I guess gradually I started gaining confidence and I started watching several videos that how to speak to opposite gender because I had never done it. And there were few tips which kind of helped me, which made me feel that it's okay. You just have to make a conversation. That is it. So those tips were, first of all, you have to change your mentality. Just change your mind a little bit and you're good to go. You just have to treat the other person as a human being. That's it. You don't have to look at other person as a girl or as a guy. Just think that he or she is a human being. I just have to have a conversation. That is it. This is very simple. You just need to bring a quick change in your mindset and everything will work in your favor. There's another thing which helped me, and that is embracing the awkwardness. I know when you have never ever spoken to opposite gender and suddenly you have to speak in front of them or to them, then you are going to have a lot of awkward moment. You would be like, how am I supposed to ask? What am I supposed to ask? A lot of things will actually go in your mind, but at that time you have to embrace the awkwardness, but it doesn't come naturally. You will have to speak to them even though if you are feeling awkward, even though if you are feeling embarrassed, but make sure that you are asking genuine questions, because if you have been asking some stupid questions, then obviously other person will not be able to talk to you or they might disconnect the call. So it's better to prepare some of the questions which you can ask to other person, because if you have been talking to a person for quite some time, then you will start being a bit comfortable. and you have to repeat the same process over and over again. And I guess within within a month or two, it depends on a person again, within a month or two you will become more comfortable with them, like you can easily have conversation with them. Another one is, can we gain confidence to speak in English through phone calls, or do we need to practice face to face? So first of all, we need to understand that how we become confident. Obviously, when we face challenges, when we come out of our comfort zone, we naturally become confident. And that confidence is something which can never be broken. That is something you have built over time. So nobody can snatch that confidence to you. But the question is, can we gain confidence to speak in English through phone calls, or do we need to practice face to face? First of all, I would like to tell you that you can certainly become confident just by talking to people on phone calls. It's pretty much enough. It will certainly make you confident. But I have seen a lot of people complaining that they can speak to anyone on phone calls, because at that time you do not really need to worry about your non-verbal communication. Because when it comes to talking, I guess you are speaking about communicating, right? But when you are actually talking to a person face to face, you have to maintain your verbal and non-verbal communication. You have to make sure that you are actually looking presentable. You're actually able to express and deliver your messages, your thoughts effectively. So I would highly recommend you, if you have opportunity to speak to people face to face in English, then go do that. But if you're someone who lives in a place where you cannot find someone to speak in English face to face, it's okay to practice on phone calls, because that is going to be really effective. That's pretty much enough. I'm saying, I repeat, that's enough. But if you have opportunity to speak face to face, just go for it. Just grab the opportunity and do it right now, because it will boost your confidence. It will give different kind of confidence to you, and then you will feel empowered that yeah, now I can do it. So both of them are fine, both of them will work for you, and both of them will help you to gain confidence, but depends on the situation. I cannot say that okay, just go and talk to a person face to face. I can't say this to everybody, because not everybody has the access to people who can speak in English. So I would say both of them are effective. It depends on you which one you would prefer. Another one is, what's the best way to improve our confidence? I guess I just answered the question. We become confident when we face challenges, when we put ourselves into uncomfortable situations where we are supposed to grow. For example, I am not confident to speak in front of public. So how am I supposed to do it? When I will just force myself to go on the stage, to go in front of people and actually speak in front of them or talk to them. For the very first time, I will be scary. I will feel embarrassed. I will feel like I cannot do it. But if I do it repeatedly, twice, thrice, 10 times, I'm sure I will build confidence. I will become more and more confident that yeah, I can talk to people. I can go and speak on the stage. I can do whatever I want. So how I became confident? When I did something which used to scare me, I did it over and over again, and then I became confident naturally. So this is how you are supposed to become confident in any field, no matter what you want to do, whether you want to speak in English, or you want to speak on the stage, you want to do something different. Just do it repeatedly, and then you will naturally become confident with that skill. Another one is, in which app do you edit your thumbnail? Actually, my thumbnails are pretty much minimalist. I do not need to add fancy elements or fancy images or fancy text, something like that. I just try to make it as simple as I can. But I've been using a few apps which help me to just create my thumbnail. Sometimes I will be using Canva, sometimes I will be using PixArt, sometimes I take the help of Pixel Lab. So yeah, these are the 3 applications which I have been using to make my thumbnail. Another one is, क्या English spoken के लिए translation ज़रूरी है? तो हाँ, English spoken के लिए translation बहुत ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि आप इसी तरह किसी भी लैंग्वेज को सीख सकते हो. फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल, आप हिंदी बोलते हो, दिस इज़ योर मदर टंग. नाउ आपको इंग्लिश बोलने के लिए हिंदी की हेल्प लेनी ही पड़ेगी, बट एट सम पॉइंट आपको इस बात का ध्यान रखना होगा कि आप अपनी ट्रांसलेशन की जो जर्नी है इसे धीरे धीरे कम कर रहे हो, क्योंकि अगर आप कॉन्स्टेंटली ट्रांसलेट करते जा रहे हो तो एक समय के बाद आपको ऐसा फील होने लगेगा कि आप पूरी तरह से ट्रांसलेशन पे डिपेंड हो गए हो और आप हमेशा इस ट्रांसलेशन के लूप में ही फंसे रह जाओगे. सो आपको इस बात का ध्यान रखना होगा कि कब आप थोड़ा बहुत इंग्लिश बोलने लग गए हो विदाउट टेकिंग हेल्प ऑफ ट्रांसलेशन, एंड देन आपको ट्रांसलेशन की प्रोसेस धीरे धीरे कम करनी होगी, धीरे धीरे आपको नेचुरली बोलना होगा. I will repeat this question in English. So the question is it important to translate if a person wants to speak in English? Okay. So yeah, it is important. I can give you example of it. For example, you want to learn Spanish or French. Just suppose you want to learn any language, and in order to learn that language, you will have to take the help of either English or Hindi. Without taking help of these 2 languages, you cannot learn. How? Because, for example, a person can say that, oh, you should be just understanding French or Spanish. But how are you supposed to understand? You will have to take the help of Hindi or English or the language which you already know. It is very important. Without taking help of any language, you cannot learn. So first of all, you need to translate them in your mother tongue and then try to speak French or German or Spanish, whatever you want to learn. But you have to make sure that at some point you are stopping this translation process. You stop the journey. I'm not saying that you have to stop this translation process overnight. No, you have to gradually decrease depending on translation and then try to speak naturally. Actually, you don't really need to worry about it, honestly. If I were to talk about my experience, you don't really need to worry about this process, that how am I supposed to do it, because with time, if you consume a lot, everything becomes pretty much easier for you. You will stop translating because you have already consumed a lot and everything got fixed in your mind easily. So you will gradually stop depending on this translation loop. Another one is, I can read in English, understand as well, but I am unable to speak. What to do? So in my opinion, when a person can read, write, understand, can follow every other step except of speaking, then there's only one thing I can understand, and that is probably you have not tried enough to speak. Probably you have not trained your tongue enough to speak. So let me give you an example. I have been consuming a lot of content. I am listening, watching, reading, writing, following every single step, and just thinking that my tongue will automatically start functioning, my tongue will automatically start speaking. But it is not going to happen. You will have to train your tongue to speak. Whatever you have listened, try to speak. Even if you are speaking broken English, that's perfectly alright. You have to understand that it is perfectly okay to speak broken English. I wish I could show my previous videos, but unfortunately I deleted all of them. I wish I could show those things to you guys, because the way I used to speak was hilarious, like literally. But it really helped me. It made me confident. So I would highly recommend you that please, whatever you are listening, whatever you are reading, whatever you are writing, try to speak whatever you have understood. Just try to explain them in your own words. Try to train your tongue to speak, even if it is broken English. That is going to help you to speak fluent English one day. So that's all about this video. But again, I could not cover all of the questions. There are still 2 questions left, but I cannot film it because I'm literally surrounded by a lot of background noise and I can't really do anything. But do not worry, I will be answering those 2 questions in the comment section, or I will actually add them in the description box. You can go and check them out if you are interested in those questions. I hope you really like this video and got to know something or other from this video. So thank you so much for watching this one. I hope you liked it. So I literally forgot what am I supposed to say. But that's all about it. So I hope you're having a great day. Just have a good day. Bye-bye.